Good morning, everybody. As you go to the chitas of today, today is Friday. It is in the portion we're holding the sixth reading in the portion of Koidach. We are holding on chapter 17, verse number 25. Return, put back the staff of Aaron, the Fnei Eidos, in front of the Fnei Eidos before the house of testimony, the Mishmeres. It should be there for a watching. Lois bnei libnei meri. So it should be a sign to my children who are rebellious. So that the complaint should be taken off of me, and they will not die. Now she says, with Suchal, the complaints will end. The equivalent of tichla, it's coming to a concept, something that comes to an end. There's a distinction between to leneisam and to lenusam. The former being a single complaint, and this latter being a more of many complaints. So grammar, but to that the keeps thing as a sign, as a remembrance that I have chosen Aaron as a kohen. So if you'll have the stick there on a constant in the Beis Hamikdash, then everybody will know that that Aaron is the kohen. So there'll no longer be a complaint on the corner. Moshe did what God asked. I say Cain also, that's what he did. Complaints doesn't stop by Jews. So the Israel spoke to Moshe saying, Hein gavanu avadnu kolona avandru. Behold, we are dying, we will perish, we are all lost. Kalakorev ela Mishkan, Kalakorev hakorev ela Mishkan. Whoever will come close to the Mishkan, Hashem yamusu. Whoever will come too close to the Mishkan, they will die. And Haim tamanu legavaya, we have been given tamana. We ended hefker, like abandoned above. Now she says we can't be careful of that. They're asking us something that we can't come to the Beis Hamikdash, Mishkan. It's a very difficult thing. We all want to be in the Mishkan. So we're going to come there by mistake. We're talking about we're going to come there impure. So we can't be careful. We're all permitted to enter the courtyard of the tent of meeting, but one who goes closer than his fellow and proceeds to the tent of meeting will die. So, Aim Tamanu, do we have been abandoned for death? Because how does one be careful with such a thing? One person not coming closer than the other. And God said to Aaron, you and your sons and your father's house will bear the iniquity. You are going to bear the iniquity of the associated with the sanctuary. And you shall bear the iniquity associated with your kohuna. Now she says, Moshe Amar and really this verse doesn't mean that he told Aaron, he told it to Moshe. To Moshe to tell Aaron. And this was a caution regarding regulation for the benefits of Israel, that they need to protect the Beis Hamikdash. Their job is not only to do the service in the temple, their job is also going to be to actually watch the Beis Hamikdash, that people should not come too close. Kos, Avi Amram, there's also the family of Kos, who is from the son of Amram, right? Because Kahas, Moshe Rabbeinu. So Aaron also comes from the Kahas. So he said also the Levim, Tisra Tzavena Mikdash, I impose upon you the punishment of outsiders who sin regarding the sacred objects entrusted to you. I've given you a job. I've given you the Beis Hamikdash, a very holy place. You have to make sure that certain people that are impure cannot come to the Beis Hamikdash. It's not an open place. And therefore, the tent, the ark, the table, the sacred vessel, you shall sit and warn any unauthorized person who attempts to touch anything. For it's not given over to the Levites. You shall warn the Levites who might inadvertently make a mistake that they may not touch during the performance of the service. You're not allowed, you have to protect you have to protect the Jews. You have to protect the Levium. And with your brethren, your brothers, tribe of Levi, Shevet Evicha, which comes from your father's tribe. Hakevita, bring them close to you, Lecha, and they'll join you. V'yishirasucha, they shall serve you. Atov anecha itach, you and your sons with you before the tent of meeting. Ashigamachecha, not only cost, but also Gershon and Merari. They shall join you to warn any outsiders not to approach. That's their job. That's why the Levium encamped in front of the temple. So whenever they saw a Jew coming to the temple, they would say, wait a second, are you pure? You do belong here. What are you coming to the temple for? To by watching the gates and serving as treasurers and supervisors. They shall keep your charge. To charge of the tent. But even the Levites are not allowed to either touch the holy utensils. So the Levites shouldn't think, since they are the watchmen, that they can touch something. You have to watch them that they shouldn't touch anything. They wouldn't die. Gamheim, neither you, not them, gamatem, neither you. They shall join you to keep the charge of the tent of meeting. To all the work of the service of the oil of the tent. And no outsider, no regular Jew, shall come near to you. You and I caution about this. You shall keep the charge of the sanctuary, and the charge of the altar. And there shouldn't be a wrath on the Jewish people. As these have been said previously, the wrath that gone forth. I've taken your brethren, the Levites, from the Jewish people. Lachem, they are to you. Matana, they are a gift. Nesunim Lashem, that was given to God. La'avedis Avedas, I am married to do the service of the Mishkan tent. Rashi says, I might think that they're given to you for your mundane work. Like you can use them for babysitting the Levium. No, they're not used for your personal service. They're used, the Levium, to watch the Beis HaMikdash. Watch the Beis HaMikdash, to watch the Mishkan, to take it apart, to put it together. And that's their avodah. In the time of the Beis HaMikdash, there was a standing building. They were there. So we know, as you learn Gemara, you know that there were certain places that the Levium stood and watched, and there were certain places that Kohanim. And you, your son, shall keep your kahuna. Shall watch your kahuna. Called Dvar HaMizbeach. For all the matters concerning the altar. Concerning within the dividing curtains. And you shall do the service as a gift. I gave you a gift. Shouldn't take this as a burden. I gave it to you as a gift. Because any other Jew, simple Jew that comes close, was the opposite of life. Avedis matana, but matana, I've given it to you as a gift. So therefore, you also have to protect your Aveda too. Your service. Verse 8, and God told Aaron, I've also given you the charge of my gift offering. I've just given you the holy things of the Jewish people, with distinction, the satin, the mashcha, as eternal portion to your children. I'm giving you truma. And all the gifts, there's actually 24 gifts that a Jew gives a kohen. She says, "V'aniyatzati lecha b'simcha," with joy. Behold, an expression of joy, and behold, he's coming forth to you. When he sees you, he'll rejoice. This may be compared to a king who gives a field to his friend, but did not write or sign a deed, and did not record it in court. Person came to contest the ownership of the field. The king said to him, "It seems that anyone may come and contest your rights. Behold, I will write and sign a deed for you and record it in court." Here too, since Korach came and made a claim against Aaron regarding the Kohuna, therefore the Torah comes and gives him 24 gifts. 24 matnas Kohuna. As an everlasting covenant of salt, so to say. This is why this section is placed here in this portion, Parsha Korach, which over here the Torah gives the Kohen 24 different gifts. Shmeres Menurasi, they must keep them in a state of purity. Lemashcha means for greatness. This is what I'm giving you for the Holy of Holies. Menaish, and from the fire, that means from what was brought as a sacrifice. Kol benasam, to all their offerings, l'chol mechasam, to all their meal offerings, l'chol chatasam, and to all their sin offerings, l'chol hashamam, and to all the guilt offerings, asher yeshivu li, which they bring to me, kodesh kadashim, the Holy of Holies, l'cha uhu ulabanecha, they are to you and to your children. And a kohen allowed to eat from all these karbanas. So they got to hide from all these karbanas. Minaish, this is after burning the sacrificial parts. Kol karbanam, communal or peace offering. Menachasam, whether it's a meal offering, the sin offering, or the guilt offering, they all receive the kohen, the kehanim, not the Leviim, only the kehanim, receive the part of all these offerings. This refers to the stolen property of a guy, of a convert. I mean, non-Jew that became a Jew, and now you can't remember. This mentioned before in the Torah of a convert that they cannot repay. Right, a Jew that stole from a convert, and now he wants to repay the convert, and he cannot. The convert has died, and he has no children, so he has to bring it to the Beis Hamikdash and give it to the kohen. Bring the carbon to the Beis Hamikdash, and he has to give the kohen the carbon. The kodesh hakadoshim, and they shall eat from the teichlenu. They shall eat in the Holy of Holies, the Holy, the Beis Hamikdash. Kol zacha yechalai, say every male, every kohen, it's a male can eat it because it's eaten in the Beis Hamikdash. Kodesh yelecha, it's given holy to you. Actually, this teaches us that sacrifice of the highest degree of holiness. So we learned this before. There was sacrifice that were called kachim kedoshim, like a chatas and an asham and a mincha. These were kachim, Holy of Holies, and they were only allowed to be eaten in the Beis Hamikdash. There were other like a shlamim was called a kachim kalim, was a lower degree, and there the kohen was allowed to take the meat and bring it to Yerushalayim, bring it to his home in Jerusalem. He could take even the carbon meat and bring it home to the family. But if it was kachik, it was Holy of Holies, he couldn't bring it out of the Beis Hamikdash. Then I also given you, set aside a gift, Trumas matna l'chol tunuf b'nei Yisrael, and it shall be yours, I set aside for you gifts from all the wavings of the Jewish people. The Satiyah Lavanech, I give it to Vanech Lavnei Sech, I've given it to you and your sons, Yitach with you. L'chak Olam forever, ever. Kol Torah b'beisecha. Whoever is clean, whoever is pure in your house can eat it. Now she says this is separating from Thanksgiving offering, carbon toida, or a peace offering, or a Nazarite offering. L'chol Tnufa, since they require offerings, they are kachim kalim, and that's why it says you can bring it to Vanecha, Levesecha, to bring it home for your daughters and your wives and everybody can enjoy it. But there only is one thing, and that is that they have to be pure, self-understood. If they're impure, they cannot eat from the sacrifice. not those who are unritually unclean. Kol Turk. How do we know that a wife, the Kol, it says everybody, in other interpreters, anybody ritually clean includes one's wife. Number 3, a choice of oil and a choice of wine and grain. Vidagan de Shisam, the first which is given to God, all the when you bikurim. I'm not sorry, this is Truma Gedola, that everybody has to take Truma if he has grapes and grain and wine, he has to take Truma. That was given to the Kohen. Truma Gedola. This is what's called Truma Gedola. The Kohen's portion, the produce separated by a Jew. A Jew was not allowed to eat any kind of grain, wine. He wasn't allowed to eat till he gave Truma. So he had to give Truma. And then verse 13, Bekure. And then there's the first fruits. Everything that grows in your land. Jews brought Bikurim on Shavuos. Hashavil Hashem, right? They brought the first fruits. All that first fruits was given to the Kohen. L'chayeh, it belongs to God, all belongs to you. Kol ter beisechelen, and you can take it home. Take all the fruits. Take all if they bring truma, bring it, take it home. Also, all devoted things shall be yours. If things were, the person made a chayim, said this is given to the Beis Hamikdash. He gave his stuff to the Beis, donated something to the Beis Hamikdash. It was given to the Kohen. All the first issuing of the womb. The chol basar, right? The first child, you have to redeem it for the Kohen. The first donkey, you got to redeem it to the Kohen. Hashem ba'adam behemoth, it's man of feet. Yilacha. That's why we do redemption of firstborn. We give the Kohen, the 5 slime. It's a Kohen. It's a gift to the Kohen. To redeem the first son. And if you can either an animal, a firstborn, you can give it to the Kohen, or you can redeem it. You have to give it to the Kohen. And you should redeem. Every Jew must redeem the firstborn. He has to redeem it. The age of a month, he has to do chamish kalim. He has to give 5 shekel of silver. B'shekel HaKodesh. In the holy shekel, he has to give it to the Kohen, which is worth Esrim Geda. It's 20 Geda is given to the Kohen. The firstborn of an ox, the firstborn of a sheep, the firstborn of a goat, you're not allowed to redeem. Kodeshem, for they are holy. You have to bring it to the Beis Hamikdash. As Dam and Tizam is bear. As Chelbon Takti Isharech Nechayel Hashem, and the fire offering, you have to bring it as a carbon. Ubisaram Yilacha, and again, their flesh go to the Kohen. Kechzeat Nufa, like the breast of waving. Koshek Ayamin, like the right thigh. Yilacha, it belongs to you. She says, Kechzeat Nufa, of a peace offering, which is eaten by the Kehanim, their wives, their children, their slaves, for 2 days and 1 night. So may the firstborn be eaten by 2 days and 1 night. If a person brings a firstborn to the Beis Hamikdash, which he has to, it's given to the Kohen. All the food is given to the Kohen. It's kachim kalim. Therefore, it's a lower degree of holiness. He can take it. He can take it home. The chayah. Rabbi Akiva taught by repeating the word "shall be yours." Torah tells us another being, so that it should not say that it's like a beast or a breast and a thigh of Thanksgiving offering, which is eaten only 1 day and 1 night. L'chayah, it's like a carbon shlomim, 2 days. Any gift of holy offering. Hashem, any gift that a Jew brings to the Beis Hamikdash from the children of Israel, the Satir Lacha I gave to you. L'vanecha to your sons, l'nesecha to your daughters, itach that live with you. L'chak olam for an everlasting. Bris melech, it's so to say like a covenant of salt. He lifnei Hashem, like the Eibishter made a covenant of salt. So too I made a covenant with you. L'chav azarecha itach. Now she says, because the Torah, this passage, is so cherished, it's a generalized at the beginning, generalized at the end, and detailed in the middle. Bris melech, olam. Bris melech, he enacted a covenant with Aaron with an object that is wholesome and lasting. Just like I made a covenant with salt, and salt is everlasting. So too, this is an everlasting covenant I made with the children of Aaron. If you're a Kohen, that you get all these things. This melech, like a covenant made with salt that should never spoil. That's the covenant the Eibishter made with the lower waters. That happened the second day of creation. The Eibishter said, I made a covenant. Lower waters complained that there were lower waters and the upper waters. The Eibishter said, God said, okay, I'm going to make a covenant with you that you're going to be everlasting, because the lowest waters, like Yam HaMelech, the lowest waters is the most saltiest waters, so salt stays forever. So here God gave to Aaron and to his children forever all these 24 matnas kona. Verse 20. Vayema Hashem al Adam, and then the Eibishter said to Adam, Ba'aitum le'sincha. And you will not inherit anything in this land. And you're not going to have a part. The Kehanim don't have officially a part in the land of Israel. Ani chalkecha, I'm your inheritance. And achlascha, in your portion, B'seich b'nei Yisrael, in the midst of the Jewish people. So you won't have physical land. Jewish people self gave land to the Kohanim because they needed to live, but they don't have officially inheritance in the land of Eretz Yisrael, because your inheritance is God. Not only that, even the spoils of war, the Kohanim didn't have a part of those spoils, and that because they're committed totally to God. That is their chelik, the Beis Hamikdash, the Mishkan. That is their home. That is their inheritance. The service of HaKadosh Baruch Hu is their inheritance. They have no aspect of physical lands and properties because that's not their avodah. Their avodah, the service, is in the Beis Hamikdash. So too the Levium also were not given lands, as we'll learn later. The Levium also were given by the Jewish people certain places, cities of refuge, where ultimately the Levium lived. There also, the service was in the Avodah Beis Hamikdash. That completes the Chumash for today. We'll go to the Tanya of the day. I'm sorry that I missed yesterday, and due to technical difficulties, but very deep concept that Alter Rebbe went into. This is this chapter. Actually, this is chapter 11 of Shariach Emunah. You need to again learn this chapter many times, even to understand simply what the Alter Rebbe wants to bring out of here. Now, the Alter Rebbe is telling us one of the concepts of Oisius. I just want to show you a picture of a book if you're interested. And this is a very interesting book. It's called The Letter of Light. Actually, you can get it on Amazon. I found the picture. I didn't put up here on Amazon to advertise Amazon, but to advertise this book, Letters of Light. And this is written by Rabbi Aaron Raskin, Shliach of the Rebbe in New York. And he wrote this book. It's a phenomenal book. And it's called The Letters of Light. It's the Kabbalistic teachings of each letter of the Hebrew alphabet. And just to know that these letters are living letters and not just simple letters. And they have very deep meaning. And the Alter Rebbe is trying to explain us this concept, these letters, because Basarim Amaris Nivra Elam, because as it says in 10 utterances in the 22 letters of the Hebrew alphabet, the Eibishter created the world. Vayoma Hashem Yi Oir. And the Eibush, the Alter Rebbe said yesterday, when the Eibush said Yi Oir, let there be light. So that's that comes from the way the Eibush, the Olam Chesed Yibana, the world was created through kindness, and it comes into these three letters, Oir, or the letter of Mayim, as the Alter Rebbe spoke yesterday. Mayim is also a concept of Chesed. Oir is Chesed, and Mayim is Chesed. They all come different, but ultimately, Oir and Mayim are two different entities in the creation of the world. Because ultimately, the Eibishter, so to say, the infinite light of God comes into Oisius to be able to be Oir, that there should be light, physical light, or that there should be Mayim, there should be physical water. So it comes down into a aspect of Oisius Lamaila. So Adam, Nasa Adam, let us make man, is also a concept of creation of Adam through the concept of Oisius, through the aspect of letters. And these letters ultimately are connected to Chochmah of the Eibush, because in these letters that were said, Adam, Aleph, Daled, Mem, is Chochmah Shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu, is the wisdom of God. So therefore, within these letters is Chochmah Shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu, which is connected to God Himself. So therefore, ultimately, that's why they're called Oisir, that's why they're called Lashon Kodesh. These letters are holy letters. Even though they come into physical reality, Torah talks in the language of man, but these letters are letters of creation. They're not as letters like English language. This is letters of creation. If these are letters of creation, these letters, Basaram Amaris Nivra Elam, in 10 utterances, through letters of God, through these Oisius, through these letters that brings about words, creates the world. It's the creation of the world. That shows you on the letters of God and the power of the letters of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, because the letters are connected to Chochmah of the Eibishter, which the Chochmah of the Eibishter is one with God. And therefore, we shouldn't compare the letters of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Basarim Amaris, and the 10 utterance God created the world, to our physical words and letters. So even though it's an analogy, that also our words that we speak is also a wonder. Our words, we should realize that we speak come from the hevel, come from our breath, which comes ultimately from our wisdom. And actually, that we speak is a wonder, one of the wonders of God that we can speak. It's actually brought down that the capability of speech comes from Chochmas Timan. It comes from a wisdom that's above, a hidden wisdom, that we actually can say words. But it's no analogy. It's only an analogy to the concept of God. God's words and our words are self-understood, far apart one from the other. That's it. The Alter Rebbe continues. In truth, I have a supernal letters or speech from above, God's speech, God's letters. Is far beyond even the wisdom, Chachma of a human being. Because our Chachma was created through God's letters. So our wisdom alone is created. Nasa Adam, as he continues. So in this, they differ from the letters of man's thought and speech, which are inanimate and belong to a level far lower than intellect. So man creates, so to say, letters in his mind and ultimately in his speech. But his letters even the letters that's in his mind and the letters that he speaks is inanimate comparison to his wisdom. But God's speech creates our wisdom. Alter Rebbe now demonstrates that the supernal letters of speech transcends man's intellect and wisdom itself. Because when the Eibishter said, let us make man, Adam is the creation of man. In these three letters, Aleph, Daled, Mem, you know the Kabbalistic concept of these letters. You will have the creation and DNA of man. Aleph, Dalet, Mem. Nivra, so from those letters were created the whole makeup of man. Nivra Adam Bal Chochma V'Seichel was let's make man in our image, made man intellectual already. His Chochma. Since wisdom and intellect derive from these letters, it's obvious that these letters themselves are far superior than man. That's why man should learn God's letters and should learn God's Torah. Because these letters, that's the letters. I'm not talking about the wisdom of it, the letters. Or man, possessor of wisdom and intellect, was created by even divine breath. Your neshama, my neshama, was created through God's breath. That's the source of letters. For the source of a letter, the source of a word. And he breathed within his natural soul of life. So it was from his breath that he was breathed into man. They became a rational being. So therefore, if you understand this, you understand that since divine speech creates man who possesses wisdom and intellect, it follows that divine speech and breath are the source of wisdom into the soul of Adam. What's the source of Adam Arishan's wisdom? Is the Dvar Hashem. What is the source of Adam Arishan's soul? Is Vayifa Ba'afanisha, the breath of God. Hakeileles, Kol Neshama Tzadikim, which contain all the souls of righteous people. Shem Gedolim and Machasharish, which is even greater than the minister than angels. And whose possessed intellect too is superior to that of angels. All this came forth from the divine speech and breath. Finally, why? Because you cannot compare man's breath and speech to God's breath and speech. Because their reason for the transcendence of spiritual letters over the soul is that the letters of God's speech are influenced of the power of the life force from the motive attributes, because God's letters come self-understood from the Midosa Shalakadosh Baruch Hu, from the attributes of God, united with God. And since they're united with God, they are one with the Eibishter. Therefore, they're far beyond the chachma of any human being. Far beyond any comprehension of any human being. And they are only called letters, like Gaben Avrayim, not in terms of letters, not in terms not in relation to the created beings, but only related to God. Why are they called letters? Because to God they come from the emotions of God, and that's why we call them letters. Not because the concept is in relationship to human. In relation to human beings, these letters are chachma. These letters are far beyond chachma, far beyond wisdom. They're only in relationship to the attribute of chesed. Chesed comes into Ur. Chesed comes into Mayim. Chesed comes into Adam. So in regard to chesed, how does chesed reveal itself? It can reveal itself in Ur. Chesed can reveal itself in Mayim. Chesed can reveal itself in Adam, and so on and so forth. It's the expression, in essence, the letters are an expression of God's attributes. Vayihi Ur. The Eibishter wanted the world, and therefore he said Ur. He expressed Ur. He expressed the letters of Ur, which brought about a concept of Ur. So the name letters, which signifies that they are lower than wisdom and intellect, is not applied to them in relation to created beings. I explained earlier, they are far superior to the created wisdom and intellect. Rather, in terms that's applied to the relative to God's and motive attributes, in so much as they are only letters, which what's the word letters? What's the meaning of letters? Is revelation of these attributes. So how does a mid of the Eibishter, go back to Ur, how does a mid of Chesed, which is connected to God, which is one with God, bring itself out in a reality? Is to Ur, through the letters Ur, Aleph Vav Reish, or through the letters of Mayim, which is Mem Yud Mem, which is water, which creates water. Now they, the supernal letters, are 22 kinds of influences. Life forces and power different from one another. For these 22 letters, in the combination, self-understood, these 22 letters were created the whole world. Upper worlds, the lower worlds, all in essence, these letters, which shows upon the concept of God's revelation, so to say, God's revelation of kindness through these letters, create all different billions of creations in this world. His letters come from God's wisdom, because that went up in the will and the wisdom of God. The Eibishter wanted 22 letters, not 23, not 21, but 22 letters. And these are the 22 letters of the Hebrew alphabet, which are fixed in the mouth and tongue, as we have learned in Sefer Yetzirah. And not only have it 22 letters, but you have Tumasim B'Ksav. You have the way the letters, the Tmuna, the shape of the letters. These letters not only are letters, the way they are written is important. The way their shape is important. That's the way it's expressed, not only in Aleph, but the way the Aleph is written, the way the Hey is written. I mean, the shape of the letters of these utterances as written in Torah indicates the form of a flow, as explained later. For the letters of speech and thought in a human soul are also outflows of these from the essence and being of the intellect and emotive attributes, as explained elsewhere. So that's also a human being expresses himself through these letters, through letters in general. But the difference is, my words are separate from me, while the Eibishter, his words is one with him. And therefore, that's why the Baal Shem Tov, Dvar Hashem Nitzav Shemaim Nasu, that the words of God continues to be in this world. These letters, the words of Yehi Or, Asarim HaMaris, Yehi Or needs to continuously, God, so to say, needs to continuously say, Yehi Or, let there be light, let there be water, let there be Adam, Nasa Adam. So we need to have the continuous concept of letters of God. Now, Chas Hashem, the Eibishter will stop saying this word, it will disappear like it never was. Well, I continue to complete the Tanya of the day. A very deep concept in Tanya. Something I say, we finish a chapter here. We're going to a different new chapter tomorrow. But these are deep stuff that needs to be learned and studied a couple of times, many times, and even just read over these letters, these words, over and over again to incorporate it, to try that it becomes part of our understanding. The letter, our own words. that we can also express these concepts in our own words. Today is the fourth day of the month of Tammuz, which is the Tillim of the day is chapter 23 through chapter 28. If one would do chapter 23 to chapter 28, do the chitas of the day. Mitchum, tomorrow is Shabbos, Baruch Hashem, and I hope that everybody will continue to learn Tanya on their own and continue doing chitas and Amir Shem. We'll see each other on Sunday. We'll start at 8 a.m. We'll see each other and we'll continue the Tanya of the day, chitas of the day. I want to wish you all a good Shabbos. Shul have a wonderful Shabbos, a happy Shabbos, a healthy Shabbos, and Amir Shem. See you on Sunday at 8 a.m.